It always starts the same way. A moment you didn't expect. She looks at you just a second longer than before. Something shifts. Not because you said the perfect line, but because your presence suddenly feels different. More grounded, more controlled, more magnetic. And you wonder, what changed? Let me explain why. The slow burn of desire. There's something men rarely understand about women. It isn't your looks. It isn't your muscles. It isn't the money in your pocket. It's the psychological experience you create when she's around you. Because women don't desire men randomly. They desire the internal world behind a man's eyes. His energy, his emotional discipline, his sense of direction, his selective attention. Desire is not born in her body, it's born in her mind. And most men never master the psychology that triggers it. The internal conflict. You've probably been there. You try to be nice. You try to be impressive. You try to show interest, thinking it will spark something. But instead, she pulls back. She becomes polite, distant, neutral. She treats you like someone who's good, but not someone she craves. And you sit there wondering, why is desire so effortless for some men and so impossible for me? Here's the truth. Women don't desire availability. They desire a man who is deeply present, but not emotionally dependent. A man who sees her, but doesn't orbit her. A man who listens, but doesn't bend. Most men chase. Few men attract. And attraction always begins with psychological gravity. The dark truth about desire. Let's get brutally honest. Desire isn't logical. It isn't fair. It isn't equal. Desire is instinctive, biological, psychological. It lives in places words can't reach. Women don't say, I desire him because he's consistent. They say, I don't know what it is, something about him. That something is never accidental. It's the combination of traits that her subconscious recognizes as rare. And rarity creates value. Value creates tension. Tension creates desire. But here's the part most men avoid. Desire requires polarity, a dynamic contrast between your world and hers. Not conflict, not manipulation, but contrast. Your masculine certainty awakens her feminine curiosity. This isn't random, it's psychology. The masculine presence she can feel. Let's break down the core of irresistible desire. 1. Calm dominance. Not aggression, not force, but calm certainty, the kind that makes her feel like you know who you are. A man who doesn't flinch, doesn't cling, doesn't chase validation like a starving animal. Women feel calm dominance the same way you feel warmth from a fire. It pulls them closer, without a word. 2. Selective attention. Women don't want a man who gives attention freely. They want a man whose attention means something. When you are selectively generous, when you choose her without needing her, she feels a unique emotional charge. Why him? Why me? Why now? That curiosity is the birthplace of desire. 3. Emotional restraint. Most men try to impress by oversharing. Their plans, their feelings, their intentions. But a man who keeps pieces of himself guarded, a man who reveals slowly, A man who lets silence speak occasionally. He creates an atmosphere where she leans in. Emotionally restrained men don't create distance. They create mystery. And mystery is magnetic. 4. Purpose that doesn't bend for her. A man whose world collapses around a woman will never be desired by her. A man who pursues his direction with or without her becomes a man she wants to follow. Purpose is the masculine backbone. It's the thing women feel before they see. You're not irresistible because she's your world. You're irresistible because you have one. 5. Controlled warmth. The most potent form of desire isn't created through coldness. It's created through controlled warmth. A moment of softness. A compliment you mean. A glance that lasts just a second too long. Not constant, not predictable, but intentional. It's the contrast between your strength and your tenderness that overwhelms her subconscious. Because every woman has the same hidden thought. If this man chooses to open up to me, it must mean something. That is desire. The real-life scenario. Let me paint a picture. You walk into a room. Not loud, not trying to impress, just grounded, comfortable in your body. She notices that first. You speak less than the other men, but when you do, your voice is calm, steady, measured. She notices that too. You're not scanning the room for validation. You're not performing. You're not trying to be funny. You're simply present. And presence, when controlled, is rare. Later, she asks you a question, something simple, something anyone could answer. But your answer is thoughtful, precise, not rushed. She feels the weight of your mind before she feels the weight of your touch. And suddenly, without you even trying, she becomes curious. Who is he? Why does he feel different? Why do I want him to notice me? This is the psychology of desire. Not loud, not needy, not manipulative, but powerful. The shift inside her. Here's what happens inside her brain. 1. The reward circuit activates. Women become attracted to what they perceive as earned. Your selective warmth feels like a reward, and the human mind desires what feels scarce. 2. The imagination takes over. You don't overshare. You don't flood her with details. You reveal pieces. This creates emotional tension, the good kind. The kind her imagination fills with her own fantasies. She starts thinking about you when you're not around. That's desire. 3. Emotional safety plus psychological excitement. You're calm, grounded, controlled. She feels safe. But you're also mysterious, purposeful, and selective. She feels excited. Safety plus excitement equals desire. It's that simple, it's that complex. 4. She starts seeking you out. This is the turning point. When she starts looking at you more, responding faster, asking more questions, trying to be near you. It's not an accident, it's psychology. Women pursue men who hold themselves with value, offer warmth with intention, and reveal themselves with patience. The shadow side of desire. But understand something crucial. If you build irresistible desire without emotional maturity, you become dangerous. Not because you manipulate, but because you awaken something inside her that you may not be ready to hold. A woman's desire is powerful, wild, instinctive. And it demands a man who is stable, present, responsible. Irresistible desire is not about control. It's not about games. It's about creating a psychological environment where she feels something she can't easily explain. A mix of safety, curiosity, admiration, and longing. If you do it right, she will choose you without you ever needing to chase. But if you do it wrong, you create chaos. So let me give you the final truth. The transformation. How you become irresistible. To create real desire in a woman, you must transform who you are, not what you say. You must become a man whose presence is stronger than his words. A man whose emotions are disciplined, whose intentions are clear, whose life is in motion. A man who is calm under pressure, unbothered by competition, and uninterested in validation. A man who doesn't try to impress, but simply lives in a way that impresses naturally. Because women don't fall for the man who speaks the loudest. They fall for the man who moves with depth. And depth is rare. The final reflection. So here's your truth. If you want to create irresistible desire in women, stop performing, stop chasing, stop bending. Start becoming the man who knows his value, controls his emotions, lives with purpose, speaks with intention, and offers warmth with honesty, not desperation. Because desire isn't created by trying to be someone she wants. Desire is created by becoming someone you respect, someone you admire, someone you can stand behind. When you do that, women will feel the difference. They always do. And that's when desire stops being a struggle and becomes a gravity she can't escape.